Reed swims on the crown and massive basket.
3. You are kidding me.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions for the 4th time.
Where there's been this much change in the off-season?
I tell you what, doing the research for these games, players, the ins and outs of it, but so for Bendigo, we've got a new import in Ruth Davis, although people might remember her as Ruth Hamlin, who played with Adelaide a few years ago. She is a quality import along with Maren Crawford. It'll be important to have a look at them.
Absolutely. It certainly will. Have a look very, very shortly at the imports that have signed around the league. And both these sides, well, they've got some new faces to introduce.
Well, they do. We talked about imports and we talk about just Australian players. The movement between the teams has been really phenomenal. And both teams, these two teams that we're going to be watching, especially Townsville with the likes of Sammy Whitcomb and Alice Kunick, welcome her back to the WNBL after a few years, are really going to be players to watch.
It's not often that we have some of the real top-tier starring opals that are moving clubs. We see the Flames pick up, obviously, Kayla George and Tess Madgen, but Sammy Whitcomb moving from the Perth Lynx, where she spent so much of her time, or all of her time, in the WNBL, to Townsville, the reigning champs. That's a massive, massive move. We can't understate it.
Well, it is, and I think she'll be really impactful, and I really look forward to seeing what her and Steph Reed can do. But if we look at the Bendigo, we just saw their starting 5 up there. You'll just notice an absence of there is our great 23, Kelsey Griffin, and she is still out with her hamstring injury, although she had an arthroscopy at the beginning of the preseason or the end of last season, and was doing her rehab. Just, as she called it, not a tweak, it was an awareness that her hamstring was a bit sore during some preseason training. So she's out again. She will be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully. She's working hard at strengthening some areas that were identified, but regardless of that, Bendigo have been without her for this preseason, and they are going to be ready to go.
Absolutely. So just a cautious approach, you think, for KG23?
Absolutely. I think it's, she herself said she could probably go on court right now, but it's a long season. They want her there for the majority of the season, so get it right now, get her strength right now. But she'll be right there behind the team, sitting on the bench, being a good other assistant coach, and helping the team in any way she can.
And how terrific as well do those Indigenous jerseys look across all teams in the comp, and these ones in particular, don't they look terrific, Laurie?
I love Indigenous round. I think it's fabulous that this year in particular, the NBL and the WNBL have coordinated so that they're having Indigenous round the same time. We talk about the uniforms. They're really great to look at just visually, but they have so many wonderful stories behind them as well, and I think it's so important that the players have really embraced that and had a real strong learning about some of the nature of the country and Indigenous culture.
And one of our referees as well, Jackie Dover, an Indigenous woman from Queensland, so terrific as well to have her refereeing this game today.
I think she's done a terrific job with her refereeing career, and to have her on board there she is in the middle. She's just gone streets and bounds, and you can see the referees have Indigenous uniforms. In fact, there's a ball that the WNBL came up with too, and an Indigenous design ball that you can go onto the website and have a look at as well.
And of course, the WNBL app, it's been a great addition to this season in WNBL 24. Download it on the App Store, Google Play, wherever you get your apps. It is finally here. We don't want you to miss a minute of the action. It's got live scores, highlights, all your player and team info. Download the free WNBL app today. And I must say, Laurie, it is a slick interface, very easy to use.
It is. even I got it downloaded straight away after the WNBL launch, which was fabulous, and I'm loving it, and it's great to have that and have it at your fingertips whenever you want to use it.
Yeah, totally agree. I am loving it as well. Here we go. Starters out there for the Townsville Fire. Steph Reed, Michaela Roof, Satina Akuso as well. Sammy Whitcomb, and of course Alice Kunik, who's another of those big Aussie additions for the Fire. Last played in Hungary last season. Great to have her back in the Cygnett WNBL.
Isn't it? It's so good, and she seems like a new player out there when she's come back. And I spoke to her, and we'll talk later on in the broadcast about how she thinks she's improved in her game, and she's just really excited to be back in the WNBL. And I'm interested to see how both teams perform tonight.
So here we go. It is Ruth Davis and Zatina Akuso. Round one continues at Red Energy Arena, Indigenous round. And the Bendigo Spirit have won down the tip. Here's Ali Wilson around the pick. Davis rolling to the bucket. Opting against it there was Froling. Now Wilson driving left, tried to find Froling and turned it over.
She probably just could have gone up strongly there instead of trying to make that extra little pass.
Oh, Sammy Whitcomb nearly started things off in style there. Now Wilson moving it forwards quickly, just 11 points away from reaching the 3,500 point milestone in her career, Kelly Wilson. So keep an eye on that one this afternoon. Wilson tied to the baseline, kicked out. Got 6 seconds to work with. Three ball goes up, a little strong though.
Really good defense by Townsville there. The ball movement was good from Bendigo, but Townsville just weren't giving them any breathing space.
So now Reed had a terrific season last year, as we know, in that title-winning run. Back again at the point guard spot. There's a turnover. Davis kicks it out. Nice find forward, and Wilson with the first points for Bendigo.
How nice is it to see Ali Wilson out there running the lane, sprinting up the floor, and what an excellent pass from her teammate and strong finish.
Always an X factor in the Cygnett WNBL is Ali Wilson. Whitcomb mishandles momentarily. Reed did just enough. 9 seconds for Townsville to work with. The Kuzo's there. Reed's going to go herself. Can't fire that time.
You always expect at the beginning of each season to have a little bit of nerves out there, you know. I love the beginning of the season, Liam, talking to coaches and players. Everybody's so excited. It's a clean slate. Anything can happen.
Here's Wilson, Froling down on the low block. Roof defending as Alicia Froling tries to go to work, and she's come up with the points.
That was great defense. Her arms were straight up, but even better offense and a great finish by Froling.
And further to your point, Laurie, there's a good feeling about this Bendigo group coming into the season.
Well, they had probably the most comprehensive preseason of any of the team. They took a trip to Korea and played in a tournament. They had a team against a Japanese team came out and played. So they feel pretty comfortable at where they're at, really game ready right now.
Here's Merrin Crocker out to Wilson. And it really was a different preseason for, as you mentioned, Kennedy Kerryama and the Bendigo Spirit going to Korea. And a tournament that you're not unfamiliar with as well, Laurie?
Yeah, that's right. When I was coaching with the national team in Indonesia, I went to that same tournament, the Park Shingjah Cup. And it's a great tournament, really competitive. So I think that was a good move for Bendigo to be involved in that.
Absolutely, as now it's Davis out for three and just won't go down. Froling, though, created another look for Bendigo, and they drain it. 7-0 start to the Spirit.
That's what Froling brings to this team. And since Annalie Mealy, who we know is a rebounding machine, has left the team, she's going to take up that slack in the rebounding.
Nice extra pass out from Whitcomb. Won't go, though, on the three. Now Wilson probing in transition. Ali Wilson thought about the triple. Couldn't find the penetration on Steph Reed. They'll reset. Davis with the pick. And Wilson will go herself.
Great poise by Kelly Wilson. Just was looking to see which one of her teammates were available, then saw the ocean's part in front of her and went up strongly herself.
9-zip start here to the Bendigo Spirit. The reigning champs. They need a bucket, and Steph Reed will find it.
And a nice steal inbounds pass by Michaela Roof. You just can't afford to be sloppy. Those teams are ready to go.
So Reed will go again. Zakuzo with the screen. Nice roll to the bucket. Set play for Townsville. It's an and one look.
Nice little two-man game between Zatina and Steph Reed. Really good composure there. Nice pass by Steph Reed and good finish, strong finish by Zatina.
So going to the line for one more. Zatina Akuso.
So you can see a little turnover like we saw there where Michaela Roof got her hands. And so now instead of Bendigo going down and scoring 2 points, now Townsville have come up with 3. It's almost like a 5-point turnaround.
Absolutely. Back to a one-possession ball game. Very quickly, 4 minutes gone here at Red Energy Arena. And Crocker with her first points via a 3-ball a few possessions ago. Wilson. Crocker on the wing. Now dumps it down low on the post, working on Akuso. There was Davis. Just rattled out. So Reed assessing things forward. Wickham directing traffic. Akuso provides the handoff. Nice roll again to the hoop, and Akuso is going to have back-to-back opportunities on the and one look.
And in the exact same play, just from a different position on the floor. Akuso making a real impact on this game by dribble handoff there and then strong roll to the basket, and she is finishing on her physicality. It's great to see that she's starting the game this way.
Great start to the year, and she's had a couple of injury-interrupted campaigns in recent years, Laurie, so this is promising for the Townsville fans.
Well, it is, and if you look at her in the lineup and Michaela Roof. Now we know that unfortunately Tiana Hawkins just couldn't come over because of injury and pulled out very late, but Townsville are long. They're tall and long and have lots of options out there.
That's a big blow, Tiana Hawkins, but as you mentioned, a real opportunity opens up for Zatina. Here's Ali Wilson. Rolling to the hoop, and Wickham with the steal. Townsville defense a feature over the last few minutes. Wickham backs it out via Roof. Now Reed presents to receive the basketball, 10 seconds. Hesitates, now she makes her move on Froling and converts in traffic.
Steph Reed is so cagey when she's putting the ball to the floor. She's not necessarily that explosive, but she's just so good at the control, whether she's going to shoot it or a teammate.
Crocker, little short on the fadeaway. Wickham's there. Sonny Wilson can set things up for Townsville. Kuzo wide open from the perimeter and drains it.
There you go. Instead of rolling a little pick and pop and finishing, add that to her armory. Fantastic for Zatina Akuso.
What a start to the ball game. 9 points already. Perfect from the field.
And that's the new 4 players that can roll hard and finish, but can also pick and pop and stretch the defense. So hard to defend.
And Townsville have rolled off a 14-zip run after Bendigo started with a 9-0 run of their own. Falling there on the O-glass, she'll go again. Third chance look for Bendigo. It sees Wilson wide open. And again, they don't box out, but managed to get away with it there, the fight. McGoldrick out there for her first minutes for Bendigo. Wickham. Straight down the keyway, over the head look to Reed. How did she find her? Another opportunity, Kunik, and she's drawn the foul. Offensive rebounding a feature for both sides so far in this contest.
I have to say right now that Townsville are looking really crisp in their ball movement, their player movement. They look like they've really played together for a while, and I suppose the core group of them has, and you add in there the quality players of Kunik, as we see there, her spinning to the basket, and Sammy Whitcomb, who are both high IQ players. It wouldn't take them long to figure out and to pick up Coach Shannon Seabaum's systems and on offense and on defense.
As Kunik drains the first. Three-year extension as well in the off-season. It was 2 of 2, and she'll take a break. Great to have her back in the fold here in the Cygnett WNBL. Wilson involved heavily in the action early here. Werung as well's out there for Bendigo. McGoldrick with a handoff. And Froling. Crocker, and looks to be a foul call. I believe on Courtney Woods.
The first personal foul.
That was good movement that time by the Spirit. They were getting the ball through hands. They were moving the ball and players, forcing Townsville just to be a little bit off balance.
Down low is Froling. Fake the handoff now. She'll get the left-hand hook shot away. Goldrick has run out of real estate.
Just down the baseline.
Both teams, I must say, as you mentioned, are doing a great job at attacking the offensive glass and coming up with second chance opportunities.
3 offensive rebounds already for the Spirit. It has been a feature here. Here's Reed at the perimeter. Ruth is rolling to the bucket. Here's Cassandra Brown, Canadian import for the Fire. Coming off the Pine today in round 1. And Whitcomb will let it fly, and it drains as well for the Fire. What a shot from Sammy Whitcomb.
Timeout call by Coach Kariyama.
Fading to her left, looked off balance, doesn't matter for Sammy Whitcomb. So timeout, 10-point lead, the Fire, and a 19-0 run, believe it or not. And of course, this timeout is brought to you by Cygnett, our major partners here for WNBL 23-24. Australian-owned, Australian-designed, Cygnett is powering the WNBL with its extensive range of digital accessories, including power banks, charging cables, wall chargers, and so much more. Cygnett is powering up your favourite players this season on and off the court. Power every moment with Australia's #1 digital accessories brand. Visit Cygnett.com. And Laurie Chiswick, this has been more like it from the reigning champs.
I've seen people do that at Derwent 24/7 G's. That's that middle work. That's that middle work. Oh, a lot of flex. A lot of flex. Not a lot of shadow, but a lot of flex. That's all good. That's all good. Thanks to our friends in Derwent 24/7. Hey, Spirit Band. Don't forget to grab your badge in the breaks. These new flags are awesome.
It's been super impressive. Whitcomb with the fadeaway 3-ball moments ago. That was her first field goal of the season and first in the Townsville Fire uniform. Bendigo with a lot to talk about there with Coach Kennedy Kariyama in the huddle. Started with so much promise. Still early in this game here, of course, in the first quarter at Red Energy Arena in Wilson. Running point out of the timeout. Into the keyway, making a move as well as Casey Samuels straight off the bench. Steph Reed sets the action for Townsville, and Bendigo with that last basket finally break the 19-0 run. Nice look inside from Whitcomb. Akuso that time doesn't get the call.
You have to think that might be a focus right now for Townsville, just the way Akuso's rolling so strongly to the basket.
Wilson follows her own miss. Not quite as Brown pokes it out to Reed. She will be attracting a lot of attention, Akuso, as Reed drives hard at the hoop. Abby Werung's been fouled here. Goes against Cassandra Brown. Ruth Davis has got 2 as well for Bendigo as she sits. And Kelly Wilson back out there playing point for the Spirit. Samuels. Handoff has been deflected, I think off the back of Brown.
It was, and really good active hands.
And off the foot as well as Whitcomb, who somehow keeps it in. No, it's in the end a foot on the line.
It was, but that was also the active hands of Kelly Wilson out there, resulting in the 2 turnovers each way, and now it's back to Bendigo's ball.
You can take a deep breath and reset. 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Samuels with the handoff, cutting hard to the hoop there. Is Abby Werung. And she will go to the line for 2.
Her first personal.
Of course, the league leader in three-point percentage last season, over 52% from three. Remarkable.
Well, it's interesting because we always have talked about Werung as an elite defender and having to go up against the strongest players on the opposition team. But she's a real scoring threat as well, and to have that mantle of being the best three-point shooter last year is great for her, and she needs to be an offensive threat.
A terrific article as well in the ABC from Hayley Wilds. Raising money in the off-season for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Over $41,000 raised, and we're going to have a turnover here.
Yes, she went during pre-season on an 11-day horse ride. Track between, I think it was her hometown into where her grandmother lived, and what a phenomenal experience that was for her, but also just the amount of money that she raised.
And a nice find as well from Werung. Samuels couldn't quite finish. Taps it out, though, beautifully to McGoldrick. And Bendigo have the points. Reed will move it quickly. Now Akuzo again open for three, and she is perfect so far from three in this ball game.
How good is that to see her out there, as you mentioned, fit and healthy, because she has had those issues.
It's a great handoff from Alicia Froling, and Werung with the finish.
Nice baseline drive, but Akuzo, when she is healthy, when she's such a strong, and look at her, another assist out there. She's reading the game really well as you know, scoring herself, but when she is fit and healthy, she is a tough player.
Great start for her. Wilson assessing. Probing inside, she'll back it out via Werung. Goldrick is there to assist, as is Alicia Froling with the screen. Front position, good hustle on the boards, and the points on the left hand as well.
A little bit of a run for Bendigo right now. Trying to see some of the momentum back.
Great first quarter of action so far. Steph Reed. 3-point leaders, the Townsville Fire. Here's Whitcomb. Nice find of Woods. That time on the free ball. And Kelly Wilson. Shot clock still a factor here. Here is Abby Werung. Down low, Froling. A good first quarter as well for her. Nice find, extra pass. No, Samuels will go himself and makes it from the top of the arc, and Bendigo have tied this thing up. 6 seconds remain. Reed got to go quick for the Fire. Runs straight into the defender. And the call from the ref, offensive foul. Second personal as well on Steph Reed.
That was a good read defensively. She just stood her ground, and Reed went straight into her.
So she's not going to risk picking up a third in the final moments here.
Smart sub by Coach Shannon.
McGoldrick, they've got to go quick. They've turned it over. Maybe one last heave for the Fire. There you go. Sammy Whitcomb has made the bucket. 3 ball goes from the halfway line. Sammy Whitcomb, 25-22. The Townsville Fire have the lead here at quarter time. Stick around. 3-point leaders, the visitors. Second not far away.
Wilson, long range shot from the car park. And Alex Wilson now starting to light things up. Davo Hickey upstairs.
Love it. He's been exceptional.
Big hit from Abby Cabillo.
in style with a last-second heave from the halfway line, and 25-22 reads the scoreline in favour of the defending champs, Townsville Fire. Liam Ellison here alongside me is Laurie Chiswick. Laurie, that was a very fun first quarter, I will say.
Well, it was. We got to see a lot of things from a lot of different players, but for me, that quarter was really dominated by Zatina Akuzo. 12 points she's got right now, and she did it by 3 very similar plays, with a pick and a strong roll to the basket, then a pick and pop and scored a 3, and another 3 in another play phase. So to me, it's really all about her.
She was absolutely terrific, agreed. 12 points, 4 of 5 from the field. Couple of threes. Really exciting stuff for the Townsville Fire. So here we go, second quarter, not far away here. And it really was a quarter of runs so far as well. In the first, Bendigo with a 9-0 start, of course, and then a 19-zip run from Townsville.
Well, and you know, to get the end result of 22-25 sort of did justice to that quarter and the way both teams were playing, and picked it up defensively.
Akuso, handoff was defended perfectly from Kelly Wilson as Koenig lets it fly. Now Werang can just grab it and go. Has Samuels to her right on the wing. She'll look for a pick instead. Werang. Davis there as well. She provides the screen for Merrin Crocker, and the turnover, no, it's going to stay with the Bendigo Spirit.
I think they'd be better off. Ruth Davis, 201 centimeters. Get the ball in the air to her. Instead of a pick and roll and trying to make her go down on the ground to pick it up, get it high in the air for her to get it.
So down low is Davis. That's Akuso defending the rock. Coming across to help as Koenig got a deflection in there as well. Townsville defense has been a factor since the opening minutes. Ruth picked up her dribble. She'll turn and fire herself. In transition. Needs to find a teammate. Akuso first to it. And out of bounds. It'll be Bendigo ball on the baseline. Fresh 14. 25 plays 22. Apologies if you're having any technical difficulties at the moment. Great to have you with us on the Cygnett WNBL. And Bendigo with the basket. So here are the Townsville Fire. Apologies if you experienced those difficulties. We are back at Red Energy Arena. Here is Michaela Roof from the top with the free ball. Makes it.
Nice shot by Michaela Roof. And we know that she can stretch the defense and spread the floor out there. And so you've got to make sure as a defender that you carry a hand on her.
Davis at the top now. It's Samuels who'll let it fly. Hits back iron. Koenig. Now Woods around the screen. Koenig's at the top. She's going to take on Crocker. Tried to find Akuso. Couldn't thread the needle. Now Merrin Crocker. Off the dribble. And mishandled. So Akuso with the steal. 3-on-1 situation. Well executed. It's the foul call. But Kelly Wilson's made them earn it from the line. Sandra Brown will head there.
I think it was Courtney Woods actually that got fouled.
Correction, you're right.
She did you know, Alice Koenig did a good job of waiting, then pass the ball to Woods so that she could have a good chance to go up. But it was just fouled, but it was a really good fast break opportunity, 2-on-1 for Koenig and Woods.
Woods making on the first.
Courtney Woods had a great off-season. She was named MVP in the NBL North, NBL 1 North. And she, to be honest, Liam, I thought she had a great season last year with Townsville. She was really good coming off the bench, and I think she's just a real important key to this Townsville this Townsville's rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a really deep backcourt, didn't they, the Fire last season? Of course, Shyla Heal joining in the latter stages of the home and away. There's Wilson. That's a great look inside to Davis.
That's nice. That's up in the air. Let her catch it high. Don't bring it down. Finish up. Soft touch.
Whitcomb around the screen. No look dime on the pick and roll to Michaela Roof, who gets the call. One to come at the free throw line, and the Fire are rolling.
And it's nice. It's on her left-hand side where she wants to finish that strongly, but what a good no-look pass by Sammy Whitcomb. Love it.
There it is again. Whitcomb. She's playing with such confidence here, as you would expect in her first outing as a Townsville Fire player. Here's Michaela Roof. And makes no mistake. Townsville remain perfect from the free throw line, 7 of 7. Halfway through the second quarter here. 3 minutes gone as Wilson pulls up from the mid-range. That's last touch Townsville. So Roof will inbounds. Or defend the inbound rather. Bendigo, 14 seconds to work with, finds Wilson. That's going to be a reset opportunity. Kennedy Kariyama watching on.
You can also see Kelsey Griffin in the background giving some instruction, some advice, feedback to her teammates.
Here's Werung driving hard at the hoop.
Nice.
Great finish.
Great finish by Abby Werung. Just really kept her composure under great pressure.
Now the Townsville Fire. 33 plays 26 here at Red Energy Arena in favour of the defending champs. Now Roof working on Wilson, has position, has the size, and she makes the easy two.
She just realized that there was, in all that movement and dribble handoffs, there was a mismatch that came on where she had Kelly Wilson on her, and just really calmly went to the basket and scored on the right-hand side.
Wilson has Froling at the high post. She goes to work. Good defense there from Michaela Roof. Read it perfectly. And now McDowell White out there for her first minutes, kicks it out. Koenig makes the three ball and doesn't. The Townsville bench love it.
Well, it's nice to see Alice Koenig get involved a little bit more. She's been on the court, she's been doing some good things, but what I really liked about that was that on that pick and roll, she lifted and they were able to kick that out to her for a nice three-point shot.
This timeout brought to you by CTM Sport, the experts in travel management for sports teams. With CTM Sport, your team can leave the logistics to our travel specialists and concentrate on their game. As part of the renowned CTM Group, CTM Sports Travel Management is designed to outperform the competition. Visit ctmsport.com.au today. And Laurie Chiswick, we have a 10-point ball game here at the timeout.
Well, I think it's a good timeout to have because certainly it feels like Townsville have that momentum, that swing that they're... I'm really impressed actually with Townsville, the way they're getting through their systems. They look really comfortable. It doesn't look like it's the first round one game for them. Their players have really, I know they're high IQ and I know they've, really embraced what Coach Shannon Seabaum's wanted them to do, but I've been really impressed with their movement and their screening and the way that their two-man games, the way they're connecting.
They have looked super well drilled. Totally agree, Laurie. Makuso and Wickham in particular have been terrific, and Alice Koenig has come alive with some baskets in this second quarter as well. Bendigo basketball. Here's Wilson. Werung falling there as well, just probing. Kicks it out, and Marion Cracker will let it fly for her second three of the game.
Much needed steadying basket for Bendigo. Right now they're shooting 25% from the three-point line, so they needed that three-point shot to drop.
Koenig. Wickham working hard, get open. Here's Roof with the screen. Froling happy to switch. McDowell White on the wing, a little strong. And Wilson's been fouled on the rebounds. Michaela Roof picks up the personal. Number 1 on the personal fouls for Roof, and Wilson will inbounds. Erin Crocker had a nice start to her career in the Cygnett WNBL in this game. Here's Wilson. Frolling's got to kick it out. Wilson will go again, penetrating, turns it over. Here's Michaela Roof. She's going to stop and fire herself in transition as Crocker pulls down the rebound. Chance for Bendigo to slingshot the other way. Wilson, skip pass in the corner as Ali Wilson, who makes it.
What great recognition by Kelly Wilson to go, you know what, I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to skip this pass to a great three-point shooter, my teammate in Ali Wilson. And you have to say, Ali Wilson, if she's got the ball in her hand at the top of the key three-point shot, I'm going to say it's going to go in a lot of the times.
Absolutely. Yeah, she is X-Factor from beyond the arc, Ali Wilson. And of course, this timeout as well is brought to you by Treaty Vic. This match is being supported by the First Peoples Assembly of Victoria, which is negotiating the country's first treaty. If you are an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person in or from Victoria, register with the Assembly today to have your say and help decide the next steps of the journey. For more information, visit www.firstpeoplesvic.org. Of course, Indigenous round across the WNBL and the NBL, and we celebrated that at Loom, Victoria during the week. And both sides wearing terrifically designed Indigenous jerseys, as well as the referees, Laurie.
Liam, if I can just extend on what we were saying about Alex Wilson and her three-point shooting. In the NBL 1 finals, the national finals, she had 2 games where she scored 45 points and 47 points.
Wow.
So it's nice to see that she can continue that form, and hopefully she can bring it throughout the season for the Bendigo Spirit.
That is no mean feat. In a 40-minute game of hoops, here's Steph Reed. So back to a 4-point ball game. Bendigo with a 6-0 run before the timeout. Here's Akuso. Whitcomb releases Akuso again. And isn't this tandem just working perfectly for Townsville?
Is Akuso 100% across the board? I think she might have missed 1 shot.
Yeah, just the 1 field goal miss. The perfect from the free-throw line, or the three-point line as well. Ali Wilson held up momentarily. The floater's no good off the window. She follows her own miss. And it's ended up with the Townsville fire. Steph Reed happy to just take the air out of the game for a moment and set things as Koenig will heave herself. Just short on the 3.
Great push by Abby Wareham with her teammate Frawling running alongside her, but it started with that push from, and that's the pace that you want to play. If defense isn't going to pick you up in D-trans and stop the ball, slow things down, go for it.
Reed. Brown with the screen. Whitcomb there as well. Might have been moving on the screen. It's a foul call going against Townsville. Bendigo basketball. Sammy Whitcomb, live with the Townsville Fire, has started with 4 steals already in the game. Can you believe it? To go along with 6 points and 2 boards. Here's Wilson. Froling. And that is going to go against Bendigo. So up in defense is Kelly Wilson. 4-point game. Been a terrific game of hoops so far to start things off in round 1.
Well, it hasn't. You know, it's 3 minutes to go in this quarter. It's really important that for both teams that they don't let anybody get on a run right now. Really lock down defensively, make everything difficult.
They've got a double Akuso, and she recognises perfectly Whitcomb. Again, has recognised where that rebound was going, not making the 3 that time. Great find forward. The contest from Akuso didn't matter because Marin Crocker with the points.
Well, their last couple of baskets have been transition baskets, just purely running the floor. Townsville's got to address that.
Reed, they found Brown, stays with Townsville.
You know, there's nothing more inspiring to get the crowd involved, the bench involved, than fast breaks. You know, kick ahead, running the floor, finishing strongly. Everybody rises to that.
Back to a one-possession ball game. Here's Reed. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Combining with Sammy Whitcomb. Oh, look, time again. This time it's Roof on the end of it. Sammy Whitcomb, she is playing like it's party time here for the Townsville Fire.
You know, she brings such experience to the Townsville lineup. Not that they need I mean, they've got a lot of experience, but she is just the ultimate, you know, she's won 2 WNBA championships. She's been a WNBL All-Star 4 times. She just exudes experience. She exudes eliteness. How great is it for the Townsville Fire to be playing with her?
That's a massive, massive addition, and really, I don't think it could have gone much better for her so far in this game. Here's McGoldrick. Now Froling. Marin Crocker finds it down low and walling up there as the Tina Rakuso, and it's gone into the backcourt. Again, the defense for the Fire. Turnover number 11 of the first half for Bendigo.
There was just lots of talk and communication. Sammy actually got lost in the defense, but yelled at her player to take her player. She picked somebody else up. You know, really good rotational team rotation.
Here's Sammy Whitcomb again. Kicking it over to Alice Koenig, who's working inside the painted area. Not that time. Wilson. Now it's Alicia Froling with the handoff. Crocker assessing. Single-digit shot clock for Casey Samuels. Really ran out of space. And again, the Townsville Fire forcing turnovers at mass here. Koenig. Transition opportunity. Whitcomb, nothing but net on the 3-ball. Back out to a 7-point game.
That's why I said 3 minutes to go. You don't want a team getting on a run, and that's certainly what the Fire have done. See if Bendigo can answer back here and close the gap.
Ali Wilson. A shield drive on the left. Wilson. Froling was there contesting and wins it back for a second possession.
Smart play by Akuso. She was there. She was in that dunker spot, but she just held high. Her arms were straight. She changed the shot, but she didn't bring her hands down at all to give the referees a chance to think that she fouled.
And it goes wide open at the 3-throw line, but out of her reach was McGoldrick. Now Roof picked up her dribble. Woods into the post, doubled immediately. Akuso once again. And that's a clear directive from Bendigo.
Must be get it out of her hands. Well, I guess I would too if the scoring rate that she's going right now. But, you know, when you do double, you've got to make sure that you've got good rotation when the ball comes out of that double team.
So less than a minute to go here, and Akuso is at the 3-throw line. In the bonus they are, the Townsville Fire. Great to be back here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there. 20 seconds remain. Akuso has found Shannon Seabom with the pass. So 6-point ball game here. Townsville Fire with the lead. So one last look for the Spirit. Here's Ali Wilson. Both teams have looked good so far in this game. Crocker, nice read out. Free ball, not quite. And the buzzer expires first, so that will do it for the first half. The Townsville Fire 46 lead the Bendigo Spirit 40 here at Red Energy Arena in round one for Indigenous rounds. And a very, very fun first half of hoops from both sides, in particular, Laurie. Sammy Wickham was awesome.
Well, as I said, I'm really impressed with both teams. I talked about Townsville and their player and ball movement, how they looked good in their systems, but equally, Bendigo had some great fast break opportunities and looked like they've gelled really well, like so quickly. Often in the first round or two, you see, you know, more turnovers, more misreads from players, but I've been impressed with both teams and how they've really handled the situations.
50% shooting from the field for the Bendigo Spirit in Townsville. Meanwhile, shooting at a 46% clip. It's Atina Rakuzo who leads the way with 15 points, and she has been terrific. As we've mentioned at plenty of times really throughout the first half, a couple of threes and a massive, massive role for her. Tiana Hawkins, of course, going out. During the week, we found out the news that she wouldn't be joining the team due to injury. And as an inclusion, or replacement rather, we know she was already in the squad. Yes. She's been awesome.
Yeah, really has been. And you know, when you have something that's a late withdrawal, it can sometimes throw a team off. But because I guess she hadn't been out here yet, it really, they haven't missed a beat out there, and it's so fantastic. What an opportunity for Zatina, and she's grasped it with both hands and just run with it.
Thought from the Bendigo perspective as well, they trail so far in this game, but a really impressive first half from them. 9 offensive boards. Merrin Crocker as well, the import, started life off as a Spirit player in fashion. 8 points in the game for her.
I love the fact that they've got 9 offensive boards. That means that's a real focus to go after it, to give themselves some second chance points, and they've got 9 out of those from their rebounds, and it's the fast break that I've loved as well.
Stick around, second half not far away here. This one is going to be a fun finish. It's the Fire by 6.
Use that momentum and power you've created to explode out on your first dribble. Okay, we've got 2 more. 1.
Sometimes as women, we look for perfection as opposed to execution.
The work ethic is important when the players are 40 years younger than you.
Can you hear?
Treaty negotiations.
Can you hear me,
between
Cody?
Our people and the Victorian government are happening.
So that last mistake
has come.
When that was me, I moved the mouse to try and get the stats back on the screen.
Culture. A treaty that listens to our elders.
A treaty that provides truth-telling, better education, jobs, housing, health, and justice for our kids.
Authorised by Amy Rost, First People's Assembly, Victoria, 48 Cambridge Street, Collingwood, Victoria.
Hello, Australia. Want to go for a ride?
A summer heatwave has arrived.
This is it. This is what you've been waiting for.
4 spicy nights a week.
It's open season. It's Love Island.
Be afraid, boys.
The power has shifted. The girls are in charge.
What the hell? What the hell?
Surprise!
The steamy villain era has arrived. New Love Island. New episodes drop Monday to Thursday on 9 Now.
So we're here today at the Loom in Melbourne, checking out all of the wonderful artists and the artwork that's displayed here, and celebrating the opening round of the WNBL, which also happens to be the Indigenous round. So come have a look at some of the artwork. It's interesting just to, you know, get a little glimpse of the stories and the the inspiration behind the artwork. This one's nice. This is one I would have in my house.
This is my first time ever today being at the Loom, and this space is just incredible. You know, it's a credit to all the Indigenous artists out there who put in such hard work.
Yeah, looking forward to playing Indigenous round and wearing the Indigenous jersey. That's something that I always find super interesting. As with all the other paintings here, all Indigenous artwork has a story behind it.
You can't be what you can't see. To have representation and then know that, our mob are watching and they're seeing our culture being celebrated.
Being a proud Indigenous woman, my job is not only to go out and play basketball and perform to the best of my abilities, but to inspire the youth and give them something to dream for and hope for. I know I said the other one was my favourite, but I really like this one too.
I'm really proud to represent my family and share my culture with my teammates. That's really important for me, so everyone gets to learn something and feel more connected to where they're playing.
It's probably the one time of the year that I get the goosebumps out on the court. I get really excited, and just to see the celebration pre-game, to then be involved in these elite games as well. It's the time of the year I really look forward to stand out there and know that I'm representing my culture as well, along with the players that are out on the court with me.
Hi, my name's Christy. I'm Jordan.
Wilson, long range shot from the car park. And Alex Wilson now starting to light things up.
Davo Hickey upstairs. Love it. He's been exceptional.
Big hit from Abby Cabillo.
Australia, take your seats.
You played the game well, you strategised throughout the whole series.
For the biggest night of television.
We have done everything to create a beautiful home.
This year, the Block Grand Finale auction.
Everybody wants you to make money.
Sunday, 5 glorious block stunners go under the hammer.
Sold!
Who
cannot wait to show Australia. We know what we're capable of. We can do anything.
Win.
This is it.
The Block Grand Finale auction. Sunday, 7 o'clock on 9.
Welcome back to Red Energy Arena here. The Bendigo Spirit hosting the reigning champion Townsville Fire. 46 plays 40 high-level hoops here, and you wouldn't know that it is round one because both these sides look really well drilled coming into this one, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, I have to say, that was a very evenly played. They were down by 6 points at quarter time and so stayed even, the Bendigo Spirit with Townsville. And And there's been a range of players that have stood out, but none more so than Zatina Akuzo in what she's done on the court and for Townsville. But I like the team play of both of them. I mean, when you look at a score line of 46-40, you tend to go, well, maybe the defense could be a bit better. But often you find, and it was interesting, I was talking to Kennedy Karama about this, and he said that certainly for them, they work on offense first. In the start of a season, it's about getting down their offensive structures and working, because if you put your defense in first and your defense becomes so great, then it's hard to practice your offense because your defense is so good. So anyway, there's various philosophies on that, but to me it looks like they have spent a good bit of time on both teams on their offensive structures, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer for that defensive rotations and principles to really lock in. But really good basketball with that 46-40 scoreline.
It has been. It's been absolutely terrific. Rebounding numbers interesting to me as well, 26-11. So quite a big discrepancy there. The Bendigo Spirit out-rebounding the Fire as well. They have 9 offensive rebounds, the Spirit. And Alicia Froling, a massive reason why, with 4 to her name.
Well, anytime you give yourself that opportunity to get a rebound and a putback or a kick out to a perimeter player that's ready to shoot a three-point shot, that's really all you can do. And I like their endeavor there. They just have to make sure that they take advantage of all those rebounds and get some second chance scores.
And of course, the leaders in this game, Zatina Akuzo has 15. Michaela Roof as well, the other Fire player in double figures with 10 points. That's crept up me a little bit here in the commentary booth. And from the Bendigo perspective, Merrin Crocker has 8, Alicia Froling has 8 as well. The second half not far away here. And you suspect the way it's gone, it's going to be a very exciting finish in the ball game at Red Energy Arena.
Well, we'll see if, you know, the Bendigo crowd can get behind their team and sort of bring them home, or whether it will be Townsville, the experienced Townsville, the reigning champions, reigning coach of the year. Of course, they'd have a target on their back this season. This is coming into this game. They've won 16 straight games, Liam.
Yes.
So, you know, they've got lots of reasons why teams want to come at them. But you know, they've always been known for taking the right shots within their offense. They have good spacing. They spread the floor. And I think they're doing that really, really well in the first game.
Yeah, 16-game win streak, as you mentioned. That still blows me away to hear that. What a fit season they had last year. Of course, plenty of new faces. But you'll always take a 16-game win streak coming into your next outing.
Well, as I say, it's always fun at the start of the year. It's a new slate. So Bendigo would be thinking, nah, forget that 16-game win streak. We're going to get this one.
They will have the first possession to start off the second half as well. Here's Kelly Wilson. Great point guard battle today between her and Steph Reed. Davis at the high post. Coming into the half with 3 personals, and that's a great way to start things off.
It is, and that's where she needs to catch the ball down low in that dunkers area and really make her moves there. That's where she can finish strongly.
Whitcomb. Akuzo's hovering as well, flicks it back over. Wants some movement, 7 seconds. Steph Reed, the player to make the move. Nice release, extra pass, just in time. Koenig a little short. Now they'll move it quickly via Kelly Wilson. 2 points, 2 dimes at the half. For the Bendigo point guard, here's Merrin Crocker. Kicked out to Davis at the elbow, just short on the mid-range J. Steph Reed as well. She'll set the action for the Fire. Handoff has been picked off by Merrin Crocker. Now a 2-on-1 situation. Releases Kelly Wilson, and the contest from Reed did just enough. Froling on the follow. Goes the way of the Fire. Alicia Froling can't believe it.
She's looking a bit bemused there. Kelly Wilson would be disappointed that she didn't finish that again. Another fast break opportunity.
And Steph Reed did so well not to foul, but
she did
adjust the shot from Wilson. Here is Reed. Well, they draw up here, the Fire. Whitcomb's in the vicinity. Akuzo comes with a screen. They close off the roll well, and Wilson now with the steal. One-on-one with Sammy Whitcomb. Will she go herself? Instead's fine Froling, who's rolling to the hoop. And a great finish on the left hand.
Well, I think that's something that certainly Townsville the coaches will be marking down as needed to work on defensive transition. There's just been too many from Bendigo, and they've taken advantage of it.
Whitcomb off the dribble, hesitates. Now she drives baseline on Ali Wilson. Couldn't find the angle. Back to a 2-point ball game. Townsville scoreless so far in the second half. Here's Merrin Crocker. Gets around one, runs into the brick wall of Akuso as Kunik hits the deck.
She wasn't moving at all. She had her feet set, and she was staying put.
No moving, Zatina Akuso. So Bendigo basketball.
It's a nice start for the quarter for Bendigo.
Froling. Enjoyed her game so far in the Bendigo uniform. Closed off from Kunik nicely. Here's Kelly Wilson on the baseline. Found the angle to Crocker. I think it's going to be a foul first on Reed.
It is, and Steph Reed really, she had her cut off. She had nowhere to go, Kelly. She just maybe gave her a little bit of a push along that baseline there. But, yeah, pretty good defense.
Inboard to Wilson. The defense was great in the first half, as we mentioned, the Townsville Fire. They had 13 first half turnovers, the Spirit, as Crocker has drawn the foul. She'll go to the line, chance to bring her tally into double figures with 2 free throws. And Woods will replace Kunik. Crocker at the line. Good on the first.
She's played in the NBL 1, but she's also played in the Spanish League. She was drafted by Washington. So, look, she's a really experienced player. Coach talks to her about, you know, she's got leadership, she's unselfish, and she's been really great for the team.
She's been a great addition so far in this game, Merrin Crocker. A tick for the Bendigo Spirit on that front. Here's Steph Reed. And good defense from Wilson and the Spirit.
Well, of course, as we talked about Townsville being able to move the ball and look so impressive, all of a sudden Bendigo have just been able to lock them down, and they've felt really uncomfortable in what they're doing.
This is a great opening 3 minutes, the second half, Laurie. From the Bendigo Spirit, here's Merrin Crocker. Kicked out, Froling. Cutting the hoop was Wilson, and that's come off the shin of Kelly Wilson. Easy call for the referee, and we are tied up here at Red Energy Arena. Ball advanced, and Woods will inbound. Here's Steph Reed. They go under the screen, and Reed will make him pay.
Good decision by Steph Reed. She has that ability, absolutely, to shoot the three-point shot. You see a team go under, make them show respect.
That breaks the drought as well in the third quarter for Townsville. And firing right back there, Bendigo via Merrin Crocker. And she is 3 of 4, excuse me, from 3 so far in this ball game, as Zatina Akuso continues where she left off in the first half, and she'll head back to the free-throw line for a continuation opportunity.
She is at 17 points right now. She's 2 from 2 from the foul line. Oh, sorry, 2 from 2 from the three-point line, 3 from 4 from the foul line. We'll see if she can continue with this.
It's the third and 1 opportunity she's had this game so far. Tina's got 17. What an opening to the Cygnett WNBL season for her. So Wilson with a rock. Samuels tried to release Crocker there. Foul call first. Looks to be on Courtney Woods. Her second personal. Fresh 14 for Crocker and the Spirit. Samuels. Now Wilson dumps it down low. Frolling's got 10 points in the ball game. Crocker for 3. Just short that time, and Roof pulls it down. She'll go herself. Set things up for Sammy Wickham. Immediate release down low. She's got the mismatch, but Kelly Wilson, it's going to be a foul call. Did so much right until she didn't.
Exactly. One thing, though, if you just back it up a little bit, Michaela Roof got a great defensive rebound, and it's so helpful to have a 4-man or a 5-man that can get a rebound, put it to the ground, and dribble it up the court. If your guards aren't available, if there's nobody ahead, she quite comfortably handled that ball, was going into a handoff with Wilson, or not with Wilson, against Wilson when she tried to grab the ball, but the fact that she got that rebound and dribbled the length of the court in control was good to see.
And rewarded with the 2 free throws there. Roof has the fire back out to a 5-point lead. It was a 6-point buffer at the half. Here's Wilson. Wickham fighting around the screen. Nice find to Froling, and the foul call on Akuso. Second on her. Nice offense from the Bendigo Spirit.
Well, you can see how that high pick and roll or the side pick and roll, and they're really looking at a little bounce pass into that roller at every single opportunity.
Good on the first, Froling. First trip to the free-throw line for the game. And that makes it 12 points, 5 boards in the ball game. Reed. Happy to hand it off to Michaela Roof. And again, that handoff action to Whitcomb. 10 seconds to work with. Kuso comes again to assist. Nice flip over there to Courtney Woods, who waltzes through for 2.
Waltzing is right. It just opened wide up. It opened up for her.
And a fire. Back out to a 7-point lead, I believe, is Froling now rolling to the hoop. Wilson kicks it out. Ali Wilson has collected Courtney Woods, who thought maybe she was a bit unlucky. Won't matter first personal or third personal, excuse me, for Courtney Woods in the game.
I thought it was a really good read. As she closed out, she just wasn't quite on balance, so to punch it in and get yourself to the line is exactly what you need.
In the bonus now as well, the Spirit. And this timeout as well is brought to you by the Australian Sports Commission. Or 3 throws, excuse me. That's a bit of habit there, Laurie. Excuse that. The Australian Sports Commission and the Australian Institute of Sport recognise the outstanding contribution of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people make to society in sport in Australia. Visit ozsport.gov.au. As here's Michaela Roof. Kicks back out to Whitcomb. Now Akuso ripping and driving on Froling. There's a call first here, and it's an offensive foul on Akuso. So number 3 on her. One to watch, Laurie. Plenty of time remaining in the third.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if she goes and sits right now or stays on the court, because it is, you don't want her to, because she's been playing so well, you don't want her to get her fourth at all. You can see the coaches discussing it to see what they're going to do.
Marin Crocker, Kuso hovering there, stopping any drive attempt as going under the screen. Now Froling slicing through and makes it.
Really good patience on that 2-man game. Reading what the defender was giving you, a rescreen.
Kuso hands it to the top. Here's Roof. Now Reed on that wing and hitting the deck is Michaela Roof. Stays with the fire. 3-point ball game. Here's that drive again from Courtney Woods. She's got 4 points on the afternoon so far. And here's Saffron Shields as well, who's checked in for her first minutes.
Wow, there's big raps on Saffron Shields that she's the, you know, the future of Australian basketball. I think she's only, what, 17 years old? She'll be 18 later on in the season.
There's huge raps.
Well, but you can just see she's long, she's lean, she's a point guard.
Great opportunity for her here. This tight tussle in the third quarter. Defending Wilson now on the rock, and from behind came Sammy Wickham. Brown's got the steal for Townsville. Now it's Steph Reed. Roof provides the screen, Cassandra Brown. Hand off his Shields. 6 seconds. What can the youngster do here? Shields, that's inside the three-point arc, just a little short. Reed came across late, and Crocker has done just enough. In fact, that's the foul on Roof. And we will walk down for 3 throws.
So with both teams in the bonus situation, you know, that's when you want to really attack, because every time that a foul's called now, you send yourself to the line. So it'll be interesting to see if players are more inclined to penetrate through dribbling, through passing, but just trying to draw the fouls.
At the line here is Crocker, missing on the first. Celebrate Indigenous round, the WNBL and NBL are hosting a special basketball community event at the Loom, Melbourne this Sunday afternoon. Players from the Southside Flyers, Melbourne Boomers and Melbourne United will be there to sign autographs and take photos. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now. Visit the Loom Melbourne's website for more information. That's going to be a terrific opportunity tomorrow, Laurie.
Such a great initiative. It's just a fabulous experience to go to the Loom with the Indigenous art, and yeah, I think it's fabulous for both the NBL and the WNBL to partner together.
There's Reed over the outstretched arm of McGoldrick. They'll have a second chance to fire. Here's Roof to assist again. They'll go under, and again Steph Reed will drain the 3-ball.
It's good to see that she's got the confidence to do that, because that's what coaches tell you to do. If a player goes underneath the screen, or if defense does, then if you feel like it, you shoot that ball.
Into the line, the Bendigo Spirit, Casey Samuels drawing the contact. Steph Reed, as you mentioned, Laurie, she's got 11 points now in the game. 3 of 5 from 3. Coach Seabom chatting things over with the referees.
Just a little chat with Jackie Dover, who he would know well, as she is a referee from Queensland.
So Samuels up to 6 points, and she makes both. To Wilson, some full court pressure on Reed. Chance to set the action for the Fire. Roof again there to combine. Werung's checked in for Bendigo. Now Wickham wants some movement from Shields. Poking at it there was Samuels. And I believe that's team foul number 5 in the quarter. 2 shots, signals the referee.
This is a really good test for Bendigo for their first game, to be playing the reigning champions, and everybody has sort of tipped Townsville to be one of the teams that's vying in that top 4, maybe top 2 position, and that they've recruited well, they've maintained their core group, and so they'll still be very strong, and Bendigo are certainly staying with them throughout this game.
They are, 6-point ball game. And they have been impressive, the Spirit. I concur, Laurie.
And we have to remember, it's without Kelsey Griffin. So you add her into the mix, just another scoring option, or at least another option where, well, Kelly Wilson, thank you, from the 3-point line. but another option where she doesn't necessarily have to score big points, but defense have to pay attention to her, which could open up some teammates.
That's exciting as Wickham straight away off the handoff. Another three goes down for the Fire and Sammy Wickham.
There you go, the two oldest players on the court. It's fantastic to see that they're out there, they're playing. They deserve to be there, both just shooting a three, answering each other.
As Wilson again, this time has drawn the foul, so this could be 7 points if she's good from the free-throw line. And of course, we're keeping an eye on the points tracker because she's 11 away coming into the game from 3,500 career points, Kelly Wilson.
That's phenomenal, isn't it? She's the record holder, the game high record holder on 432 games, I think, that she's played already, which is just an incredible milestone achievement for any athlete of any sport.
Just timeless. Kelly Wilson not quite on the second as Davis was there first to it and fumbled out, Fireball. And on the flip side, Sammy Wickham has been at the peak of her powers so far in this one. Here's Jess McDowell-White. Retrieves it back from Wickham. She's got space to go again, Sammy Wickham.
She heard you, Liam, just talking about her. She was going to go, yes, I am at the top of my game.
You knew that was going down the moment it left her hands. That's Saffron Shields, I think, is poked at it, and the Fire have a steal as a result. 8-point leaders. Wickham controlling the action with 50 seconds remaining in the third. Nice release to Roof. Moves it through some hands, and it's Brown with the three. Her first points of the afternoon. Wilson. It's an 11-point lead to the Fire. Bendigo need to go to work here, and they do via Ruth Davis. Shot clock just ahead of the game clock. McDowell-White happy to take some time off. 10 seconds. Wickham slashing to the corner, comes around a screen, wide open. Wickham on fire in Bendigo.
That is what she loves to do. She came down off a pin down screen, another screen, and just catches and shoots it in rhythm. That is just classic Sammy Wickham.
Sammy Wickham now up.
They're right now just feeling good about what they're doing, and so they need to lock down defensively and then offensively get the ball through some more hands, keep to their structures. And 12 points, as we know, appeared. It can disappear very quickly as well.
Speaking of structures, I mean, they have been terrific. Some of the looks they've created for Sammy Wickham, they look like a team that's 10 weeks into the season.
Well, that's what, you know, to take Sammy off the point where she can be coming off of screens and plays can be set up for her, just suits her to a T right now at this stage of her career. Of course she can handle the ball. Of course she can swing into the one anytime. But just to be able to see her coming off the screens the way she does and her ability to catch and shoot the three ball is fantastic.
10 minutes remains here at Red Energy Arena. 12-point lead to the reigning champs. Coming in off a 16-game win streak off last season, if you don't mind. Bendigo have been valiant so far. Do we have one last twist in store maybe down the stretch? Wilson has come up with the steal to start things off and tried to thread the needle. But seeing better of it there was Brown. Important stop. McDowell White. Whitcomb directing traffic from the corner. Oh, now she catches her off guard with the cut. Out to Shields in the corner. Little wayward. Great recognition from Whitcomb. Now it's Crocker. Hand off. Finds Samuels. Froling. Around the Davis screen and poked away. Great defense. And Saffron Shields turns it into offense down the other ends.
That was great defense by Townsville. They were switching everything and doing it aggressively too. So there was no question mark, should I, shouldn't I? They were switching, and then she just came from behind and was able to knock that free.
And this timeout as well brought to you by Ford Aussie Hoops. Whether your little one is already shooting hoops in the backyard or simply looking to get out there and give a basketball a go, the Ford Aussie Hoops program is the perfect way to kickstart their basketball journey. Ford Aussie Hoops is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. Register today, aussiehoops.basketball. And a quick timeout as well. Less than a minute gone here in the first quarter, Laurie, from Kennedy Kariyama.
Well, so it's a bit of a dilemma here right now. It really looks like Townsville they're very comfortable in what they're doing and their ball movement. Do you go into a zone right now? Do you throw something different at them? You know, when they're shooting the three ball so well, you sort of wonder, oh, is that a good opportunity? Is that the right choice to make? But I think they need to do something different. They need to change it up. Otherwise, Townsville have really found their tempo. They're feeling good.
Here we go, out of the timeout. Wilson have it.
Well, we can see that Townsville's gone into a zone anyway.
Change up from Coach Shannon Seabom. Crocker. Top of the keyway is Froling and finds Davis down low.
Again, I like that little high-low pass, keeping it high in the air. Davis has her hands outstretched. She's the biggest player on the court. She can catch it, not bring it down and finish, as we just saw.
Whitcomb assessing. Now it's Shields. Had some active hands defensively, and that is a very quick release. Just wouldn't go down for Whitcomb. Kelly Wilson happy to slow things up, find the right look, and she does via Samuels, who's just off.
That shot did everything but go in for Samuels.
Whitcomb causing a lot of headaches at the moment for the Spirit. Here's Ruth, fake the handoff, split through two. Great finish from Ruth.
You can just see the athleticism of the team overall, Townsville, and how their ability to score off the dribble, to score from the three-point line.
Around the screen is Samuels, picks up her dribble at the elbow. Davis is in there, the painted area. Whitcomb poked at it. All clean, says the referee. Stays with the offensive team.
4 seconds on the shot clock.
Can they draw up as Zatina Rakuzo comes back into the game? Wilson at the baseline. Dumps it inside, and that's great defense from McDowell White. Controlling this fourth quarter so far are the Townsville Fire. Two of the reasons why Whitcomb and Ruth combine. Here's Akuso. Nice no-look find to McDowell White, just strong on the three. As Kunik really collided with a teammate. And a call here from the referee. It's a foul going against the Spirit. Kelly Wilson, her third personal of the ball game. There's that block again from Jess McDowell White.
Well, she knew she had to shoot it. There had only been 4 seconds on the clock. There was a pass, another pass, so she knew the shot had to go up. She could afford to close out strongly and carry that hand, and she did just that.
Kunik will inbound, 14 to work with. Some of the players off the pine for Townsville have had some great moments defensively. Wickham has found Nick White as Akuzo hits the deck on the baseline. Koenig does similar, and in fact it's a foul call against the Spirit.
You can see Koenig grimacing. You can see Zatina in the background grimacing and holding her knees. Don't underestimate the physicality of this game. They're going at it hard in there. They're going at it hard defensively, offensively. They're driving in hard, but you could just see the action there. Alice just really got a trip, but there's a lot of physicality at both ends of the court.
So Koenig remains out there as McDowell White. Now Wickham try to find Akuzo, and it's a foul call. The Spirit can't believe it. I think it's gone against Ruth Davis. In fact, it's Wilson, and that's number 4 on her.
I think that Sammy really got let off the hook there. That was a no-look pass that really wasn't going in the right direction, but just didn't get there.
First blemish on the day of Sammy Wickham.
First blemish, yes. I'm sorry, Sammy.
She's been hitting a few of those no-look dimes today. Retrieves it back from Akuzo. Look at this action from the Fire, coming around screens off ball as Alice Koenig will let it fly and makes it.
Didn't that look nice, leaving her hand, Alice Koenig?
17-point lead, Townsville, and this is reigning champs doing reigning champs stuff. As Ali Wilson, they need an answer, the Spirit. Merrin Crocker tries to drive on Roof, slows her up. That's a deep 3-ball from Wilson. Can't find the rim.
I spoke to Alice Koenig before the game, and given that she's, been out of the league for a few years now, been plying her trade in Europe, very, very successful, I might add, European champions. But I asked her sort of what she brought to the game now, and she'd like to think that instead of just being considered a shooter, she had more quality. She was able to put it to the floor. She was a better defender. And she was just so looking forward to being back into the Cygnett WNBL and playing with the Townsville Fire.
What a way to make yourself notice playing with this Fire squad. Reigning champs into the starting unit. She's got 8 points so far today, 4 boards, a couple of steals as well. From the Bendigo perspective, their first half was so strong, wasn't it, Laurie?
Well, it was, and they just, they got off to a blinding start, and then, of course, we know a team like Townsville will settle and come back, but from then on, it was just really basket for basket. It was a real grind until the last bit now, where the Fire have just, taken control of the game, and that can often happen when you have a really good team like we know a talented team like Townsville is that you can only sort of hold them down so long, and I'm not sure it's that Bendigo's been playing so poorly, but Townsville have just gone up another level.
Yeah, totally agree. There's a lot to take out of this from the Spirit, regardless of the result, but with 6.5 minutes remaining, so much time. They can go on a little run here, keep it interesting.
Well, they just want to make sure it doesn't become a blowout now, because they've played too well up to this point to warrant a blowout. We can see a bit of a zone here now, a 3-2 zone. And I like that. Mix it up. It's not going to hurt you. See if the Townsville Fire can come up with something different.
Werang was anticipating the 3 from Wickham. Got it the second time.
That's it. That's one stop then. And often with a zone, you can get a good rebound and run yourself. So it might hold them in good stead.
Wilson, straight away drive on the left hand, and she's drawn the contact. Ellie Wilson, today the 5 points, 3 boards. She'll go to the line. Bendigo as a team shooting 64% clip from the charity stripe. So good on the first. Wilson, perfect from the line.
And Alex Wilson, Indigenous player for Bendigo, and listening to her talk on various things during the week, how proud she is that this round takes place and that she's able to contribute and educate and work with the community and her teammates.
Yeah, terrific. She is a great leader, Ali Wilson. in the WNBL and in the Indigenous community as Samuels dives on it. Whitcomb's there as well, and Ruth comes up with it. Here's Steph Reid in the corner. Nice find to Akuso, slashing to the bucket.
Great teamwork for Sammy Whitcomb passing it up to Steph Reid, and then Akuso just slashing to the basket and her teammate hitting her, finding her. Great team basketball.
Werung somehow kept it in. Here's Merrin Crocker. Deep three ball for Samuels, who had her feet set, makes no mistake. Offense flowing here. But the Fire still with a 19-point lead. Reid wants some movement. Now Kunik had enough space. Just off on that occasion. Samuels. That's Crocker now. Abby Werung. She goes herself, Werung, and drains it. No surprises there. Abby Werung, the first three ball of the season goes, and she's got 9 in the ball game. Roof. Now Whitcomb at the top. Akuso thought about the screen, now gets down low. Samuels was there, kept in, but no further than Steph Reid. Too strong on the floater. Ruth battling hard. An extra possession, Townsville. Wilson right there on defense. Big screen from Zatina. Now kicked it out, and Whitcomb just off on that occasion. Ellie Wilson perfectly placed to Crocker.
Good control by Crocker. She was getting double teamed.
Oh, that's ended up in the lap of Ruth Davis. One back for Bendigo. 3:43 remains here, and they remain intact just.
Well, it's still a 14-point game, but really good timeout called by Shannon Seabaum just to try and, you know, stop the momentum that certainly Bendigo has right now. They've gotten a couple of stops, a couple of fast break opportunities, some threes in there, and so he just wants to make sure that he gets his team refocused, back on track.
So much time remains here. Townsville lead the fourth quarter so far, or with that last bucket, in fact, it's Bendigo 12-11. They lead the fourth period after Townsville put 27 by them in the third, and that opened up this lead for them that puts them in a dominant position.
And that's what they want to make sure they do, Bendigo. You know, obviously there's still time and you still want to go out and win this, and the coaches will be talking about that, but you still want to chip away. You want to make sure that you end this quarter strongly. You're sending a message to Townsville, to the rest of the league, that you're here, you're, you know, not just going to be lay down in the fourth quarter if you're behind, that you're a team that's going to fight it to the end, and I have no doubt they will in this last 3:43.
Absolutely, there's time to make things happen.
It is, yep.
No doubt about it. They can cause a few steals. Townsville, unsurprisingly, out there with their best lineup, the starters on the floor. Here's Reid. So Steph Reid. Kuso, they've held her well in the second half, I've thought. There's Zatina in the vicinity again. They'll let Steph Reid fire. Not that time for her. She had a good day from three so far, Steph Reid. Crocker.
So that matchup zone is holding in good stead for the Bendigo Spirit.
Here's Wilson. Frolling there on the O glass if she can get to it, and that's going to be a foul call on Werung. Whitcomb infringed. Frolling in the thick of it as well, but Abby Werung just her first personal of the evening. And there it is again as Whitcomb came across late.
Frolling was just collateral damage there with the two of them clashing, Werung and Sammy.
Wilson there with Reid. Can they create some disruption, the Bendigo Spirit, on this Fire side? Now Reid driving inside the keyway. Wilson was there to pick it off, and too long in the painted area. says the ref.
Well, disruptive they've certainly been. Townsville right now, they've really slowed down their scoring output given that zone, that matchup zone, and there's been really good talk by Bendigo, pointing, talking, switching, changing.
Now their opportunity. A basket here could bring it back within single figures. Froling loses Zatina and she lets her know about it. But it's going to be going against the fire. In fact, a shock from Froling. I did see Zatina wave goodbye, I believe, on the baseline.
Well, Froling extended her arm. If we can see here on the replay of drive, she's just, I'm not sure she pushed her or if her backward momentum took her that way, but definitely she extended that arm on the drive.
Yeah, the replay showed it perfectly. An easy recognition for the referee, and Zatina knew it as well. So fire with the ball. Here's Reed. Nice find to Roof. Wayward on that 3 ball. Long rebound for Kunik. Extra pass and she is wide open. And that makes it hard for Bendigo. 14-point lead, the Fire once again. Wilson, what a find to Froling.
Great pass in there. It was almost like a Sammy no-look pass, but it was just quick. It was efficient and saw her teammate out of the corner of her eye. Great job.
What a masterclass so far today from Sammy Wickham. I reckon she's had about 5 of those no-look passes today, Laurie. Here it is again. So Wilson, nice look as...
Just replicating Sammy Wickham.
Yes. Froling with the 3 throws. And good on the second. .210 remains.
Froling leads the Spirit with 15 points.
Played a great game, Alicia Froling. Wilson up there trying to disrupt Reed. Cuso provides the pick and Reed goes straight to the rack for 2. So timeout on the floor, the Fire not far away here, you'd suspect. Coming away with the first victory of the season. 15-point ball game. Kinley Kerryama wants to chat things over.
Yes, and it's, you know, it's one of these things, again, play it out. 2 minutes to go. It's your home court, so you want your fans to know that you've got that grit and determination. But for Townsville to come down to Bendigo for their first game, to get a win, you know, when it's an away on the road, first game up, new players, you've just lost your import or she didn't come. You know, I know they're strong, but that's a great win for them if they can finish it off in these last 2 minutes.
That's been super encouraging. All 5 starters in double figures. Zatina Rakuso leads the way with 20. Wickham has 18, all of which came from beyond the arc. And the new additions, haven't they looked terrific? Kunik as well has been great.
Yeah, they've really slotted in well, and that's the, you know, that's the challenge of coaches in the off season, is to know who you've got returning and then to fit the jigsaw, to get the pieces right. And it's not only what they can do on the court, their skill set, but it's what are they like as people? How are they going to fit into our culture? How are they going to gel with everybody? Because that is equally important to what they can do on the court.
Kelsey Griffin as well looking on, as we saw moments ago. And if you missed us off the top, around a fortnight away, we think, with a hamstring complaint. Is KG 23 as Werung lets it fly. Here's Roof forward to Steph Reed. She's got to slow it up, and that's deflected off Kelly Wilson. Sideline ball, Townsville. Getting the crowd involved here. Maybe one last throw at the stumps for the Bendigo Spirit with a steal. Here's Zatina Rakuso, and off guard was Michaela Roof. So there is the turnover. Wilson ahead, straight away 3 and makes it.
And that's what they want. That's what they need, a little steal. Just pull up, stop and prop at the 3-point line.
Now they need to put it together once again. Steph Reed looking to control the action along with Whitcomb. Hesitating. Little one-legged mid-range J, and it won't go. As Wilson in transition pulls up for three. Ali Wilson! Single-digit ball game. There's still life in them yet.
That's what the Bendigo Spirit fans have come to see. Another stop, another three.
Whitcomb. Less than a minute remains. A basket here would make it really hard. Reed, cross court. Akuso steps out of range. Not quite. Long rebound for the Spirit. Wilson finds Marin Crocker. She's been on fire from three today. It's Werung in the corner. And another look for Bendigo. Crocker will go straight away. Chaotic moments, and it's going to be Kunik who pulls it down, and I think a foul call on Abby Werung.
Well, they had their opportunities there, two or three chances to nail it and bring it to that 6-point margin. Good shots that they had.
They were great looks as well.
Really good looks, just not able to drop.
That would have made it interesting. We've got 3 throws instead down the other end. Encouraging, though, the last couple of minutes for Kennedy Kerryama. They've thrown everything at Townsville. Kunik makes no mistake. And Kunik goes 2 of 2 back out to an 11-point game. Crocker wasting no time. Wilson gonna have to let it fly in the turnover. So that'll do it. Shot clock just ahead of the game clock. Reed happy to let time wind down. And the Townsville Fire, the reigning champs in the Cygnett WNBL. They look like they're going to roll away to their 17th victory in a row.
How impressive is that, Liam?
So impressive. And of course, a win streak that comes from last season. That has so many fresh faces. It's what they've done today. A new look to this squad, and they've looked so well drilled. Roof of the line. She goes 2 of 2 and make that 18 points in the game for Michaela Roof. 6 of 9 from the field. Wilson, one last look. Crocker's been good today. And there we have it, the Fire. They remain the team to beat so far in the Cygnett WNBL. They get it done here at Red Energy Arena to the tune of 13 points.
Well, I give full credit to Bendigo, but certainly Townsville, when they needed to really amp their game up, and it went from a 4 or 5 point game to all of a sudden we were saying it's a 12-point margin, you know, and that's what a good team knows how to do, to come up with some stops, continue to get through your sets, and come up with some quality basketball, which Townsville did.
Tina Rakuzo, 20 points, led the way, and wasn't she terrific in the first half? 15 of those points came within the opening frame, and Sammy Whitcomb as well.
Well, and you have to give Akuso credit because, you know, if Tiana Hawkins had been there, chances are she wouldn't have been starting. And so for her to come into this starting lineup and have the impact that she did, and it was the way she did it. We saw her first 3 baskets were pick and roll, and she rolled strongly and finished hard. Then she came up with 2 threes. And the rest of the game, it was just a combination of that, really rock solid.
From the Bendigo perspective, the skipper, Kelsey Griffin, encouraging to her team, you'd suspect. And see Sophia Lacandro there as well. A couple of Spirit players who are out with a hamstring complaint, and she is going to be a huge inclusion when they get her back, Kelsey Griffin. Bendigo, I thought, were good today. A lot to work with.
I think so too. You know, they came 5th last season, so they certainly want to try and challenge and get into that top 4. So they've assembled a team that they think can do that and play the style of basketball that they think that they can do that. And I think there would be lots and lots of positives to come out of a game like this.
Sammy Whitcomb, wasn't she just awesome? We've sung our praises at length throughout the broadcast, but 18 points, 6 triples, 6 steals as well defensively. She was just creating headaches for Bendigo all throughout the evening. And here is the rest of the games to come in round one. And of course, Southside versus Melbourne, the first game of the Michelle Timms Cup coming up just after this, Laurie.
Can't wait to see that one, call that one. Excited. Should be a great game.
And it all wraps up on Sunday. The UC Capitals, their first home game of the season against the Adelaide Lightning, who of course started things off on opening night. They'll be hoping for their first win of the season. It's been fun here on the Cygnett WNBL. A great game to start things off for Bendigo and Townsville season at Red Energy Arena. It's the Fire who got the job done here. Spirit Stars sticking around to engage with their fans after the game. But Townsville get the job done here. 17 victories straight. The reigning champs, they're 1-0 to start things off in the Cygnett WNBL.